The 21 UN peacekeepers abducted by Syrian rebels in the Golan Heights have been released and handed over to the Jordanian authorities. The observers were captured by militants on Wednesday. Rescue efforts were hampered by sporadic fighting between Syrian troops and the rebels, despite a fragile temporary ceasefire. Earlier, anti-Assad fighters had set their demands for government troops to withdraw from the area as a precondition for the release of those peacekeepers. Now, the rebel groups also backtracked too on claims it used them as human shields. Let's talk about this with Deepak Tripathi. He's a political analyst and historian who's joining us live on the line. Deepak, hi there. What was the motive behind the rebels' act of taking these hostages, do you think?
Well, in these situations, it's difficult to exactly know what the motive was, but the motive can be guessed at by considering how would the rebels who took these UN troops hostage could benefit. And I think there are three things to remember, and that is that if there were fewer or no UN troops, then the rebels could indulge in violence with impunity.
And was it designed to jeopardize the UN peacekeeping mission there, solely to do that in the Golan Heights, yeah?
Well, it certainly looks like that, because in the end, the hostages were not released to the UN. That shows that there was a certain intention to undermine the United Nations, and Lakhdar Brahimi, the special envoy of the UN and the Arab League for Syria, and at the same time, they were sent to Jordan. Jordan is a country, news has come only in the last 24 hours, that Jordan is a country where the United States, Britain, and one or two other countries are training Syrian rebels.
Deepak, internally, we're hearing yet again tonight in the last few hours the Syrian opposition saying, as far as they're concerned, conditions have not yet been met to talk to the government. So still no dialogue there.
Well, it looks like there is a certain degree of backtracking on the part of the Syrian rebels, because at the last meeting in Germany, the leader of the Syrian rebels had suggested that he was prepared to talk to the Syrian leadership, but since then there have been a number of setbacks, and this is the latest one.
Do you think the West will be as resolute as supporting the rebels after this has happened?
I think the West wants the current Syrian government to collapse for geopolitical reasons. There's a bigger reason, apart from wanting to bring about the collapse of the Syrian government, if they can manage it. And that is to undermine the Iranian government, and also, more importantly, the Russian interests in Syria and in the Middle East.
I guess it's also brought to the forefront, this hostage-taking scenario. It's also brought to the forefront, hasn't it, that potentially the Western backers of the Syrian rebels could be arming terrorists, extremists.
Well, the British Foreign Minister, William Hague, keeps repeating from time to time that he wants to help the Syrian rebels, but not Al-Qaeda or similar fundamentalist groups. I think it is fair to say that President Obama would also not prefer that. But the problem is, how can the United States and Europe, especially Britain, which is at the forefront of help to the Syrian rebels, how can they stop countries like Saudi Arabia and Qatar, who are the main arms suppliers to the rebels and whose constituency is that of militants?
Deepak Tripathi, thanks for your thoughts. Political analyst and historian as you are. Thanks for your time.